The other Friday night game is a pretty damn intriguing game, too. Arizona, the Wildcats taking on Battle of Wildcats here. I just realized that. Wildcats versus Wildcats. Arizona Wildcats, Kansas State Wildcats. Kansas State 7-point home favorites, 58 the total in this one. I mean, for Kansas State, man, that was a emotional and physical barn burner that they played against Tulane last Saturday. Tulane gave them everything they could handle. You talk about another coach doing a great job. I mean, John Sumrall was expected to be a little bit of a retool for Tulane this year because Willie Fritz left. They lost their quarterback. They lost production on both sides of the ball, a significant amount. And here's Tulane. They destroyed a FCS opponent their first game. And then, of course, they gave Kansas State everything they could handle. I saw a lot of Kansas State there. I had to downgrade their defense. I didn't really like at all what I saw from their defense. Tulane ran the football down their throat. Mensah, the quarterback for Tulane, made some big plays through the air as well. I thought their defensive line got owned for a good part of that game along the line of scrimmage by Tulane. That's not a good sign, especially when Big 12 play starts for this K-State defense. So I'm at the point now where I'm saying I don't know if K-State's defense is good as we've seen in the past after the way Tulane moved that football effectively most of that game on Saturday. Now you got to deal with Noah Fafita. Teteroa McMillan might be one of the best receivers. He is one of the best receivers in college football right now. I mean, that is going to be a tough matchup here for Kansas State after what I saw from that defense against Tulane on Saturday. Flip it around. Don't get too caught up in Arizona's, lethargic showing against Northern Arizona over the weekend. I think it was just one of those, they had the game last week, Arizona, where they torched New Mexico. And then, of course, last week, an FCS opponent with this big Friday night trip to the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas on deck. So I think they might have, again, playing possum a little bit. They're going to play a lot better probably here in this game. It's a significant non-conference, or actually it is a conference game because Arizona's in the Big 12 now. But, you look at this game, I think Arizona's. After what I saw from K-State's defense, I'm hesitant to lay 7. And I'll say this about their offense and Avery Johnson, their quarterback. Great athlete, can run, great runner. He's got to work on his pocket. I'm not sold on him as a thrower of the football just yet. Avery Johnson. He's got some room for improvement there as far as I'm concerned. That's not an accurate, that's not a consistent throwing quarterback at the moment from what I've seen with Kansas State so far. So, give me the Wildcats. Funny stuff, Kongs Clips. Funny. You're Wildcats either way in this one. But I'm going to make the case for Arizona at 7 or more. And this is another one. Look, lean over. I think Arizona with their offense, K-State's defense did not look good to me against Tulane, and they're going to be pressured here against that secondary in particular, which, again, I thought Tulane threw the ball pretty well against them too. Now you got to deal with Fafita. You got to deal with McMillan. You've got to deal with a lot of explosiveness and balance in this Arizona offense. I think that's going to be a tough task here for Kansas State. And again, to lay 7, you got to show up defensively. And I didn't like what I saw against Tulane as far as that side of the ball for Kansas State. What do you think here, C-Mac? Battle of Wildcats, Arizona, K-State.
Yeah, Mensah for Tulane. I thought he'd be all right, but he was throwing it around. And Tulane was a late Saturday morning ad for me. And, man, they were controlling that basically the whole game in that one. And to win it, they get the touchdown, and then that fumble recovery for about 40, 45 yards. That was it. And they just kind of held on in that one for K-State. But I wasn't impressed. I think Johnson's all right. I mean, that was good. They got out of there with a win. They are better here back at home. And they've been good straight up here at home. But they haven't been the best ATS team. And I don't know about laying this touchdown. I did a ton of money with Noah Fafita last year as dogs, and these come up. And, 2 games were just kind of ho-hum. And I don't think they looked great last week, but they got by. But I think they'll be ready for this one. I'm on the 7 here with Arizona, especially, I don't know. Is there 7.5? I haven't even looked at that today. I'm sure there's just 7s.
There's 7s pretty much across the board.
Yeah, across the board. Yeah.
There's a 7.5 at South Point in Las Vegas, your neck of the woods. Yeah.
I have South Point, so I might look at that. But Arizona here, I think they can do enough in this game. You mentioned how they got, both the offensive line and defensive line. I wasn't too impressed with K-State. And they'll be back here at home, but a touchdown, too much. I think like Fafita's the guy that keeps you in the game and makes some big plays, I think. But, it makes this maybe like a field goal type game.
Yeah, I think for Kansas State, that's the issue, right? Defensively, didn't see enough I liked, really, from them to be really all that enamored with laying a full touchdown with them.
And one team's been great against ATS, like dating back last 15 games, so this last year, and they've lost a couple. 11-4 ATS to a team in K-State who just has been good against the number.
Now, you could say Arizona, and another thing, too, is both of these teams have really good balance. We know Arizona can throw it. We know they can run it, too, because they've got a good back, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who transferred in, and DJ Giddens, of course, for Kansas State, pretty good running back. So there's balance in both of these offenses, too. So that's why I'm leaning over here with this total as well, 58.